Hello and welcome to another video from Norway. In today's video I'm going to share a bit from my travel day last week, what I've been working on since I've been here, a few yarn shops I've been to, including a little bit of a yarn crawl vlog from Oslo. I went to Oslo earlier this week. I'll share what I bought and what I've been working on, so I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're new here, my name is Anniken. I design knitting patterns. I teach knitting workshops online and in person, and I sell yarn through my website YarnAddict.co.uk. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. My online shop is actually closed at the moment till I get back from Norway in a week's time, so make sure you sign up to my newsletter and you'll be notified when it reopens. So I'm in Norway. I arrived last Wednesday last week. It's Thursday today. No, it's Wednesday today? No, it's Thursday today. One of the problems I had when I travel here is that I travel with just a backpack, and even though I have clothes and stuff here, I still have to take a lot of stuff with me. Normally I take like a spare top and a set of underwear and socks if my plane is delayed and I have to spend the night in London. I'm covered. But I had to take that out this time and just hope that my evening flight was on time, which it was. Actually landed a little bit early, which was great because my last two evening flights have been late. But I was taking the sequin yarn. I had 6 in here, so these are 3, so you imagine 3 more. That takes up quite a lot of space in my backpack. So I was desperately trying to, because I actually had 8 with me. So I had one that I was working on that was nearly finished. I was desperately trying to finish that before I got to Stansted, or before I had to board the plane, because the yarn is wound around like a stiff cardboard cone, so it can't be squashed down. So the one I was working on the way to Norway, or on the way to London, I was trying to finish that cone before I had to board a flight and start the second one. So I had 1 of those balls in my project bag and then 6 in my backpack. And I was really worried about the fact that my backpack was a little bit on the big side. Ryanair, especially at Stansted, are quite strict. So I was knitting like mad all the way on the way up to London, and on the I didn't knit on the tube through London because I'm only on it for like 10-15 minutes. And then I was knitting on the train from London to Stansted. And I always, when I fly on my own, because I normally get to Stansted way too early, I always book the lounge. You're only supposed to stay there for 3 hours, but I was there I arrived by 1:30, I think, and I left, I guess, just before 6, 5:30, 5:45. So I definitely got my money's worth. But it's nice to just have a place to sit, and it wasn't very busy, so it was quite pleasant to sit there. One of the first yarn shops I went in when I got here was a yarn shop in a town called Ski, called Nestemit. Neste is like a ball of yarn, so my ball of yarn is basically what it's called. But it's in the nearby town called Ski. It's a large shopping centre there. I went there because I knew I didn't have enough of this yarn to finish my top, and I know that they sell it, but I didn't know. Last time I was there at Christmas, they didn't have an awful lot. So I popped in there and they didn't have what I needed. So I ordered it from a yarn shop in Oslo, and I've been taking my parents to loads and loads of appointments, so it's been quite busy since I've been here. But I managed to on Tuesday. I had to take my dad to dentist appointment first, and I didn't realise it was hygienist appointment, and it took over an hour, and I didn't bring my knitting up from the car. Then I just dropped him home. Then I walked down into town and got the train into Oslo. So I got to Oslo a lot later than I normally would have done, but I had a great day doing a bit of a yarn crawl. I filmed a little bit in each of the shops I went into, but most of them were quite busy and I struggled to film. I try not to get other people in the shot. So I have been to all these yarn shops before. I have 2 other yarn vlogs from Oslo on my channel, which are a bit more in detail. So I'll link those at the end of this video if I can. And also I'll link them below. So if you want to go and check those out, you can do, because they're a little bit more in detail. But the first thing I did was get a train into Oslo, and the ticket I buy through the Ruter, RUTER, which is the easiest app to use for getting around Oslo. You can't tap in and out on the metro like you do in London. So having the app is easier. If you use public transport within Oslo several times throughout, I think it's a week, you get a discount for each trip. I got the train into Oslo, and my ticket actually includes travel within Oslo for up to 2 hours from when my ticket starts. So I got to Oslo, I got off at the National Theatre train station and swapped over to the metro, because the walk from the train to the metro there is only a few minutes, whereas the central station is a much further walk. So I changed at the National Theatre train station to the metro, went to Majorstuen, and the yarn shop is just across the road from the metro station. So I popped in there. It's quite a small yarn shop, but they do have a lot of choice. They're also the yarn shop that run the Yarn on the Go yarn shop at Oslo Airport, which has had, it was supposed to close at the end of February, but they've extended now to the end of April. And I saw that they were advertising for more staff. And they said, I think it says something like to the end of April, but possibly longer. So I'm wondering whether they're trying to make it permanent. I hope so, because I really enjoyed popping in there on my last trip when I went home in November. When we were here at Christmas, when we left, we had an evening flight day before New Year's Eve, I think it was, and it closed before we got there. But this time it will be open, so I will definitely be popping in. It's just before you go through the international departures. So with your international domestic departures, you can pop in, and it's just before you go through the security doors to international departures. So after I'd been to Kjørven, I then got back on the metro, and I could still use my original ticket. And I got the metro to Hellisfjord, and I was I was a bit hungry when I got there, so I decided to pop into to a coffee shop that I've been to before. Had a bun, cinnamon bun, which I've been eating my own body weight in cinnamon buns since I've been here, and did a bit of knitting for a while, had a fairly decent break. And then I popped into the yarn shop next door, Garntopia, because I've actually ordered online the sequin yarn that I needed to finish my top. I'd ordered that from Garntopia to collect. So I had a message saying it was in. So I popped in there, collected that, had a look around. And when I left there, I got the metro back into town. I had considered going to 2 yarn shops a little bit out of the city centre that I haven't been to before, but it would have been like half an hour on the bus. There's a spinning shop and a yarn shop quite close to each other, and I had considered going there, but because I got into Oslo much later than expected, I didn't. So I got the metro back into town, went to Fruquist, which is a fantastic shop, really, really lovely. I had a look around there. I was actually looking for some Chogu 3mm needle tips, preferably in the Forte variety, but they didn't have it. I looked at all 4 shops I went in, but I couldn't get the 3mm tips, which is a bit annoying. And so I bought a few little bits and pieces there, which I'll show you in a minute. Then I walked across the city centre to Glass Magazine, the department store. I popped into Stenungsund department store on the way, which is where I used to work for the last year I lived in Norway before I moved to the States when I was 18. And popped in there and had a mooch around. And then I walked across to Glass Magazine, the department store, and went straight down in the basement where they got the Heimen Husfliden. If you want to look specifically for Norwegian wool brands, that's the best place to go. They have a huge selection. I filmed more there because it's easier to film, because the staff just kind of ignore you. So I did film a bit more there, but I didn't buy anything there. They also have like other Norwegian kind of handicrafts. They have Norwegian Selbu mittens that look like they're hand knitted. They have quite a big selection of those. So it's a really nice place just to browse, and I think it's very popular with tourists because they stock so much Norwegian wool there. And then I walked down to Oslo City Shopping Centre, which is right next to the train station. There is a yarn shop there, which is where I bought my redesigned pouch at Christmas, but it's quite small and it was quite busy. So I did pop in there, have a quick look. It's really, really tiny. It's not a lot bigger than this, It's a little bit bigger than this room, but not a lot. And I didn't see anything I fancied in there, and I couldn't film in there because it was so busy. So I did buy a few things. So let me show you those before I show you my knitting. Oh, we did also yesterday go to a shopping centre in Oslo because my mum had an appointment, medical appointment there. And we walked past the yarn shop, but it was really tiny. Really wasn't much bigger than this room. And from what I could see from the outside, there was nothing there that was terribly exciting. So I didn't buy anything. So let me show you what I bought. The main reason I went to Oslo was to get more of the sequin yarn to finish my top. Obviously, it's a different dye lot than what I ordered wholesale in the UK. So that's my original one. That's the new one. The colours look slightly different, I think, not massively different. What I decided to do is knit. It's a leave. I have 3 balls left of the original dye lot, and what I've decided to do is to leave those for the second sleeve and start knitting with that. So I'm going to start knitting with one of the new balls today. So I just hope the dye lot works out all right. The first yarn shop I went to was Sjødven, and I did buy some yarn there, and I've actually cast on a new project, which I'll show in a minute. But I did buy some yarn. I bought these 2 balls of yarn. It is Drops Alpaca. This is Drops Alpaca mix, and I think it's because it's kind of like a slightly heathered colorway. And then I got this one, which is a solid one. I haven't got a label for this one. I don't. Oh yes, I do. So the purple one is color 4400, and the grey one is color 506. My husband really likes wearing hats, and I used to really struggle to knit him hats, so he was happy with it top. But I did a couple of years ago, I think it was, I knitted my Cornwall hat, and he really liked it. And then I knitted a couple for me, and I knitted one each for the girls, and eventually wrote out the pattern. And I think Simon's only got 1 Cornwall hat, so I decided to knit him another one. Now he's got a cow, the snowflake cow, my snowflake cow, which I knitted in West Yorkshire Spinners Exquisite 4-ply in like a silver grey and a dark grey, and he wears that a lot. And the hat I knitted him, the Cornwall hat I knitted him, is, can't remember the company. It's a yarn. I think I bought it at Beautiful Knitters in London. I think it's a German indie dyer. It is grey with speckles. So I thought maybe I should knit him a hat that matches this cowl more. So I picked up this dark grey and a silver grey. But then I thought maybe he thinks that's a bit boring. So I also took a picture of this. And I took a picture of the 3 together. And I messaged him and I said, which one do you like? And he said, maybe the lighter colour will get dirty too quickly or be less practical or something. So I took a picture of these 2 together and said, what about these 2? Because I feel like they're a bit little, not enough contrast. And I didn't get a reply. So in the end, I just bought these 2. So it's going to be this colour on one side and this colour on the other side with a folded brim that you can fold up. I'll pop a picture of the screen of the one I knitted like that. Most of the ones I've done haven't had the folded brim, but this one will. So I cast on yesterday, because my mum had this appointment. So I took that with me. So if I end up having to wait, like I did at the dentist the other day, I'd have a bit of knitting to do. I didn't get much knitting done. I don't want to knit too much on this till I finish my sweater. So this is kind of like my side project till I finish my sweater. I took the sweater into Oslo with me the other day, but we've got an appointment. Got to leave in about 40 minutes, and I might take this with me because I can just clip it to my handbag quite easily and it doesn't take up a lot of space. So I also at Sjødven, I looked at this one. I've looked at this before. It's Cardiff Cashmere. I've looked at it before and it's just so beautiful. So this is cashmere and silk, 68% cashmere, 32% silk. It's 300 meters, 25 gram, and it's slightly brushed. So it's not as fuzzy as mohair, but it's slightly fluffy. Now, it's not a cheap yarn at all. But I was thinking about was either knitting my luxe shawl, so probably holding this together with one of the sequin yarns, maybe even that one, I don't know, and knitting my luxe shawl in it, or maybe doing another little shawl, but holding this possibly together with the sequin. I don't know, but it was just, I like the colour, and I've been wanting to try Cardiff Cashmere. It's Cardiff Cashmere Prime. We wanted to try for a while. It's not cheap. Actually, it was because I asked the shop assistant because I couldn't find a price. So I asked how much it was because obviously it's cashmere. And she said, oh, I think it's about 300 krona, which is probably about 25 quid, which is expensive. I was like, oh, never mind, I'll get it, treat myself. And I actually paid, I can't remember, about 250, 60 krona for that and the 2 bolts of drops. And did I get the needles there as well? No, I got the needles at Continental. So it was a lot cheaper than what she said. Maybe I should have got another colour, I don't know. But I won't be doing anything with this on this trip, I don't think. I might have a look when I get to Oslo airport at Yarn on the Go and see if they stock it. And if they do, maybe I'll get a contrast colour. And then at Gantopia, I picked up my order for the sequin yarn. I had a look around. I could have easily spent a fortune in there. They have a lot of knitting for Olive and loads of other yarn ranges, loads of beautiful stuff. But I thought I've spent quite a bit of money on probably about £45 on this sequin yarn. I don't feel like I need to buy anything else. I did get some needles there though, because I wanted some 3mm Chow Gu tips, because I have spare Chow Gu cables with me, but I don't have 3mm needle tips because I hadn't planned to knit this hat, but they didn't have it. So I got some Knit Pro 3mm needle tips. I have some Lantern Moon cables, or 1 Lantern Moon cable with me that I've left here from a previous trip, and I know that the Knit Pro tips fit onto the Lantern Moon, and I prefer the Lantern Moon cables to the Knit Pro cables. So that's what I'm using to knit the hat. I'd like to finish the hat before I leave. I don't think that's going to happen unless I finish the sweater, say by the end of this weekend. And I have over half, probably about at least 25 centimeters to go on the body, plus 1 sleeve, and it took me 2 and a bit days to knit the first sleeve. So I don't think that's going to happen. So when I went to Frykvist, I thought I can't buy any more yarn because I've got to get this home with me. So I bought a few little knickknacks. They have a lot of cute little knickknacks here. So I really like these. They're like those kind of things that you'd have on the duffel coat. They're really good for when you use the barber cords to secure them. So I got 4 of those because they had a selection of colours and they were quite cheap. So I got 4 of those because they're always useful to have. They had loads of little cute little tins. Do I need a little tin? Probably not, but I got a cute little tin. They're good for like stitch markers and bits and pieces. And then I got I don't know where I got this. I really don't need it, but I got a little thing like that. It's from a company called Maud's. And it's got a little measuring gauge. It's got 5 centimeters on one side and 2 inches on the other side, and then it's got a needle gauge. I liked it because it was cute, it was small. Cost me 99 krona because I've left the price tag on, and I thought it was a pretty and cute and travel size, so I got that. And she put it into this cute little pouch for me, so I think I'll leave it in there and pop it in my bag and take it home with me when I leave. So let's talk about my other knitting project. So my main project has obviously been my sequin sweater. So I'm using Lang Cashmere Extra Lace, which is really fine, and holding it with Lang palettes in color 47. This is the same color, 47. So I realised, I knew when I started this I probably wouldn't have enough yarn, but by the time I finished the upper body I thought I definitely won't have enough yarn. So I knitted 1 repeat on the hang on, which way around can I hold it? I don't want to rip the cashmere, because cashmere is so fine, it does break very easily, so you've got to be careful not to pull on it or catch it on something. So I knitted most of the upper body to the underarm before I left. I think I finished it on the train or in the departure lounge, I can't remember. Then I knitted 1 repeat on the body, which was between these 2 green markers. I think it's about 6 centimeters. I knitted that out of one of the sequin balls because I wanted to know how much I needed to finish the body, and I worked that I needed at least 5, maybe a little bit more to finish the body, and at that point I had 5 or 6 left. I can't remember, 5 left I think. So I then decided to knit the sleeve so I would know how much I'd need on the sleeve. The Olympics finished last weekend, and if you've been watching the Winter Olympics, you will know that Norway won everything. Well, no, they didn't, but they had the most gold medals and the most medals overall. The 50 kilometers men's cross-country race was Saturday morning, so I went grocery shopping early, got back, sat down to watch it, thought I'll start this sleeve because I thought it'll be hours of knitting on Saturday. So I thought I'll start this sleeve, but I hadn't worked out the maths for the sleeve. So it's a set-in sleeve, so I picked up stitches around the armhole, and then I did short row sleeve cap shaping, which you can't really see because of the sequins. And I just did a rough calculation, and then I started knitting, and I tried it on, not properly, but I just pulled it on my arm like that as I was knitting it. And I thought, yeah, it seems okay. Size seems okay. And when I got to like probably about here, I tried it on and I was like, oh, the sleeves are a little bit snug. But this is a very stretchy, it's a very elastic fabric. So it may relax a bit. It's fine if I'm wearing like a top like this where the sleeves are quite snug, then it's fine. But I can't wear anything with like wider sleeves underneath, but that's fine. So I knitted a lot on Saturday. Sunday was the women's 50 kilometers. I went to spin class Sunday morning, so I only watched the second half of the race. Swedish skier won. She's won everything, I think. She's really, really good. No, they didn't win the Sweden women's team didn't win the relay because their best skier fell twice and broke her ski, I think. So Norway won the relay. But Sweden, when it comes to women's cross country, are definitely the best at the moment. Men's cross country, the Norwegians are the best. In the 50 kilometers cross country, they got first, second, and third. The fourth Norwegian unfortunately had to drop out, but they got first, second, and third. And the 3 Norwegians skied on their own in the front throughout most of the race, till the winner kind of shot off on his own on the last round. So I finished by the time end of Sunday. I had about 12 centimeters left on the sleeve. Finished that on Monday. So the sleeve took me 2 and probably a quarter of the sequin yarn. I was thinking I would do the other sleeve next, or the neckline, but because that was like Monday evening and I was going to Oslo on Tuesday, I thought it's easier in Oslo to knit on the body. So I carried on the body. So I will carry on the body, I think, till I finish that ball of cashmere. I'm hoping I'll finish that ball of cashmere and a ball of this at the same time. And then I might put it back on hold and do the neckline and the second sleeve. Or I might just finish the body. I'll see how. I'm a bit worried about running out of yarn for the neckline and the second sleeve. So I'd like to do that first. If I hadn't been going to Oslo, I would have done at least the neckline, possibly also the second sleeve, to make sure that that was done. Then I could just make the body as long as I wanted it till I ran out of yarn. But we'll see. I'm not taking this out and about with me anymore, I don't think. If I'm taking knitting out and about with me, I'll take the hat. So I'd like to finish this by the end of the weekend. That's Thursday today. Don't think that's going to happen. I've got to go out. I haven't done any knitting yet today. I've got to go out soon because my mum has an appointment. And then I might go to the gym this evening. I haven't decided yet. I've been to spin class Monday night. Yeah, I went to spin class Sunday, Monday night, last night. And I'm going to spin class tomorrow morning and Sunday morning. But I'd like to go. I've only been to the gym once since I've been here. I've done several spin classes, but only been to the gym once. So I would like to go to the gym tonight, but I'll see how tired I am because I was really tired yesterday because we had a really long day out. long day out on Tuesday, long day out yesterday, and then I went to a spin class and a stretch class. Stretch class was a bit too yoga-ish for my liking. I don't like yoga because it makes makes my neck and my back hurt quite a lot, which is probably not the idea. But I've got quite a lot of knitting done. I'm actually filming a how much I knit this week video, how much I knit during a week in Norway type video at the moment. Fortunately, I started it on Monday. I should have started on Saturday because I did so much knitting over the weekend, but I only thought about it on Monday. So that will probably be out on Tuesday next week. There'll be another video, mostly from Norway, probably all from Norway, next week. Might even get out and do a bit of sightseeing. The weather's been a bit miserable since I've been here. Very cold the first few days, and then it warmed up a bit. We had a couple of days where we had a bit of snow, and yesterday and today's been raining. Tuesday was sunny all day. It was lovely when I was in Oslo, quite mild and sunny. Yesterday was raining, today's raining. I'm a bit worried about how icy it's going to be or how slippery it's going to be. We're not leaving till about 11:30, so I'm hoping by then the roads, once we get on the motorway, will be fine. It's these minor roads that are a bit problematic. And it's walking from the car park to where my mum's appointment is that worries me because it could be really icy. So let's hope we don't end up falling and breaking something. Anyway, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. Getting really close to 5,000 subscribers now. So please help me get across that goal that I've had for ages. And then I'll do a big giveaway once we get to 5,000 subscribers.